Jax?
Me?
Yeah.
I try not to say anything.
Yeah, I don't say much.
Bob, could you spell your last name for me?
Carlsen.
Very good. Bob, can you tell me a little bit about your experience? You were an A1 pilot, correct?
That's correct.
What year were you there? What was your rank? Where did you serve?
I was there from July 1971 into December 1972. I was stationed at Nakhon Phanom, Thailand. I was a second lieutenant when I arrived and became a first lieutenant while I was there. And I was flying the A1 and on a one-year tour, and I ended up extending, so I went into a second 6-month tour. So my total time there was 17 months. Flew mostly out of Nakhon Phanom. However, our planes were on alert at all times at Da Nang, Vietnam, Bien Hoa, Vietnam, and Ubon, Thailand. So I flew out of all of those locations.
You were starting to tell a story inside about planes, I think, in the presentation. Did you not? I think it was you that.
I did.
Is that something you want to expand on, or what would you like to talk about?
I could expand on it a little bit. As I said, I went into my first tour ended, a one-year tour, in July of 1972. Just before that tour ended, I inquired about a Raven forward air control job. And I was told that there was a two-step process if I wanted to apply for the Raven job. One step was to request a 6-month extension, which was guaranteed, and the other step was apply for the Raven job, which was not guaranteed. I pre-negotiated what would happen to me if I extended voluntarily for 6 more months and did not get the Raven job, and they said, we will give you 6 more months flying the A1 Skyraider at NKP. So I agreed to do that. As it turned out, I did request a 6-month extension. I did not get the Raven job, so my tour at NKP was unbroken. And I enjoyed it the entire 17 months that I was flying over there. And I don't know what better assignment that a lieutenant as a first assignment out of pilot training could ask for.
What was your favorite thing about flying the A1?
Aside from the fact that the airplane was extremely challenging to fly and a beautiful airplane, my favorite thing about the job was how rewarding the mission was. I just get broken up sometimes even thinking about it, but our primary mission of search and rescue for downed pilots or crew members was to me what was the most rewarding part of the job.
Do you have a specific instance you remember pulling a pilot out? Did they bring them back to your base when you rescued someone?
Not always. Sometimes we brought them back to Nakhon Phanom, Thailand. Sometimes we brought them back to a closer base. Some of the missions that we flew were staged out of Da Nang, Vietnam, and some of them out of Ubon, Thailand, and were not brought back to NKP where I was stationed. Got a lot of memories, a lot of fond memories of both the operations and the crews that we flew with, not only in the A1, but in OV-10 forward air control airplanes and HH-53 Jolly Green Giant helicopters that we worked with frequently, and the crews that flew them.
To go back, do you stay in touch with any of the pilots? Have you ever gotten a chance to meet any of the gentlemen that you rescued or supported on the ground? We had George Wilson Hunt up here, and the gentleman that was with him was actually the son of a Bright Light mission. So have you ever made connection with
Not after my tour of duty. I made connection with some of them as we brought them back to the base, and they got out of the rescue helicopters, and everybody celebrated on the ramp, and possibly later on, if they weren't hospitalized or whatever, we'd sometimes have a get-together in our hooch and celebrate our
Very
good
good.
fortune.
Is there a time you were ever close to, did you ever suffer any battle damage on your aircraft?
I was very fortunate in that in all the time I was over there, I did not take a single hit that I am aware of. And that was highly unusual. And a lot of the missions that I took part in, a lot of the other airplanes that were flying with me in the same mission took battle damage of various sorts. And in one case, we lost a helicopter and the entire crew.
Anything that you'd like to say to other veterans or anybody that's thinking about going into the service? Kind of a hello, is it a great way to live a life?
No, there's somebody else.
I think it's, I would highly recommend it, especially if you have a career choice where the service could give you some training and experience which would help you for the rest of your career, possibly the rest of your life. I recommend to everyone, and I wish the United States would require everyone to serve their country in some capacity, if not military, civilian, humanitarian, somehow. Give some of your own life to support your country and your fellow citizens.
That is beautiful. Bob, is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, other than thank you very much.
No, thank you for being here today. I really appreciate it.